full video of Pam Bondi today crashing out.
I want to thank the Attorney General for her great work in the first year on the job, and I want to thank you for being here. With that, I would yield to the ranking member for an opening statement.
Thank you kindly, Mr. Chairman, and welcome Attorney General Bondi. You've got the best lawyer's job in America because your mission is justice and your clients are the American people. But to promote justice for the people, you've got to listen to the victims, like the women seated behind you today. Those are just some of the hundreds of survivors of Jeffrey Epstein's global sex trafficking ring who are demanding that the truth be told and are demanding accountability for the abusers who trafficked and raped them.
Yep.
You still haven't met with these survivors.
Wait, wait a minute. So you're the Attorney General and you didn't even meet with the survivors of the people that you're releasing all the files about? What the fuck?
Their permission, let me introduce to you the survivors and late survivors, family members who are present today. There's Teresa Helm, there's Jess Michaels, Laura Bloom McGee, Danny Bensky, Liz Stein, Marina Lacerda, Sky and Amanda Roberts, who are the family of the late Virginia Giuffre, Charlene Richard, and Lisa Phillips. Now, you're not showing a lot of interest in the victims, Madam Attorney General. Whether it's Epstein's human trafficking ring or the homicidal governmental violence against citizens in Minneapolis, as Attorney General, you're siding with the perpetrators and you're ignoring the victims. That will be your legacy unless you act quickly to change course. You're running a massive Epstein cover-up right out of the Department of Justice. You've been ordered by subpoena and by Congress to turn over 6 million documents, photographs, and videos.
Wait, so there's 6 million, but I thought they only released 3 million. That means half haven't even been released? Is that... I think it's like 3.5 million. So that means literally millions of these are still left?
Epstein files, but you've turned over only 3 million. You say you're not turning over the other 3 million because they're somehow duplicative, but we know that there are actual memos of victim statements.
That's not their decision to make.
And you also took down the Department of Justice's prosecution memo from 2019. So it's clearly not all duplicative, but even if it were, why not release it? Just release all the duplicative stuff.
Yes, put it out
In the
there.
half you did produce, you redacted the names of abusers, enablers, accomplices, and co-conspirators, apparently to spare them embarrassment and disgrace, which is the exact opposite of what the law ordered you to do. Even worse, you shockingly failed to redact many of the victims' names.
Not that big of a shock.
Which is what you were ordered to do by Congress. Some of the victims had come forward publicly, but many had not. Many had kept their torment private, even from family and friends, but you published their names.
That's crazy.
Their identities, their images on thousands of pages for the world to see. So you ignored the law, and even with over 100,000 employees at your disposal.
I think they've got to get rid of her. They do. Like, I thought they had to get rid of her with the Tesla bombings. The fact that they let those Tesla bombings go on and they never held any of those people accountable. Like, you had people that were creating national databases of where Tesla owners lived, so they would make targets out of the people that own these cars, and other people could firebomb and destroy the cars. And a ton of these people never got arrested. There were never any consequences for it, and they were just able to do it with no other type of problem at all. So really, I mean, this is only one thing. Like, the worst part about this is that she's so incompetent, I don't even know if it's a cover-up. I think that she actually just might be a fucking retard. Because how do you mess up so many different things over and over and over? At a certain point, I mean, like, you're just a fucking idiot.
You acted with some mixture of staggering incompetence, cold indifference, and jaded cruelty towards more than 1,000 victims raped, abused, and trafficked. This performance screams cover-up. Convicted sex trafficker and groomer Ghislaine Maxwell opened the gates of hell to Virginia Giuffre and hundreds of other victims, as Virginia recorded in her remarkable book, Nobody's Girl. But when Maxwell was subpoenaed to come testify before Congress, you and Todd Blanche quickly moved her from a higher security prison to a minimum security camp in Texas, where she's enjoyed 5-star treatment, including catered meals, private gym time, and access to a therapy puppy. All because Todd Blanche,
gave this bitch
who's utterly failed to investigate.
They gave this bitch a dog? They gave her a fucking dog. And she didn't even snitch anybody out? Bro, you gotta take the dog away. That poor dog. I know, really, like, how does this even happen?
The monstrous crimes of Epstein and Maxwell's co-conspirators spent 9 hours with Maxwell and satisfied himself that she would have nothing untoward to say about Donald Trump, which is your only real interest in the matter, based on institutional performance.
I think that there's a lot of people that are weaponizing the Epstein files for Trump or against Trump. I think it's pretty obvious that something has been going wrong here, and it's not really as simple as, Epstein is in the right or not. I think it's very simple that, it's like way, way more complicated than that.
But abandoning victims and coddling perpetrators is what you do best. When the FBI opened a criminal investigation into the brutal killing in Minneapolis of Renee Good, a poet and 37-year-old mother of 3.
Justified. Shouldn't have been driving your car. Should have followed the fucking command. Should have listened to the police. Should have complied. Shouldn't have spent all morning harassing them and impeding what they were doing. If they had arrested her earlier, it wouldn't have happened. I completely justified.
By Trump's masked paramilitary ICE agents, you shut it down. You claim you're investigating the cold-blooded murder of Alex Preddy, an ICU nurse at the VA. But how can we trust the administration when the president...
I dislike these people weaponizing and trying to use basically the moral good standing of the Epstein files and the objective evil of it to effectively launder their political ideology with ICE. Like, that's what they're really doing, is this guy is a bad actor. He's trying to launder the Epstein files and launder, basically aggressive, abusive people who refuse to follow the law, who are violent towards police officers, getting shot. And it's a tragedy when somebody gets shot. It's sad, but sometimes it's justified. After looking at both of these, I think the woman driving the car was completely justified. And I think Alex Preddy, it was unfortunate, but it's hard to say the cops should go to jail, and I think they should do an investigation. But, it's very clear that Alex Preddy was not just a nurse. He was a active agitator. He was not a protester. He was a criminal, and he should have never brought a gun there. All of these things are true. And so whenever he's taking the moral, basically like the moral mandate the Epstein files deserve, and you're trying to weaponize your own political values to try to interweave it and launder your political ideology through the Epstein files, you're just being a piece of shit. So I don't even think that this person cares about the Epstein files, which is what I think is very fucking annoying, is he doesn't even care about this at all. He's just using this as a weapon to go and attack somebody that is in opposition for his political goals. This guy's trying to bring in some weird stuff. Yeah, that's what he's doing. He's using it as ammunition.
Nome called Preddy a domestic terrorist.
Yeah.
And Stephen Miller called him a would-be assassin. Not only do you refuse to share evidence with the state and local investigators and prosecutors in Minnesota, you have blocked their access to the crime scene and the evidence. How are you seeking justice for Marimar Martinez, the Montessori school teacher in Chicago who was shot 5 times by a Border Patrol agent who bragged about it on text? Or the family of Keith Porter, a father of 2, shot and killed by an Austin...
So is this about the Epstein files, or is it just more Democrats that are trying to launder women being raped and they're basically you don't even care about this. It's amazing to me to see somebody just totally it's so blatant that they don't even care about this issue at all. They don't give about this shit. They don't give a shit about this at all. All they care about is weaponizing this so they can push some fucking agenda for justifying illegal aliens. They don't care about people getting raped. They don't give a shit about this.
The ICE agent in L.A.
Yep.
Or the family of Silverio Villegas Gonzalez, shot and killed in Illinois minutes after he dropped his kids off at school.
Oh,
There's
wow.
no sign of any movement at the Department of Justice. You even launched a criminal investigation into Renee Good's grieving widow.
Yeah. Good. Should put her in jail. Put her in jail as an accomplice. Absolutely. All the way. No mercy.
What is that? But it's even worse. You've turned the People's Department
fucking
of Justice into
completely
Trump's
based.
instrument of revenge. Trump orders up prosecutions like pizza, and you deliver every time. He tells you to go after...
No, he doesn't. What do you mean?
After James Comey, Letitia James, Lisa Cook, and Jerome Powell, the head of the Federal Reserve Board, and members of Congress like Adam Schiff,
this has
Mark
nothing
Kelly,
to do with the
Alyssa
Epstein
Slotkin,
files.
Chrissy
There's
Houlihan,
nothing to do with
Jason
it.
Crow, Chris DeLuzio, and Maggie Goodlander, to name a few, and you snap to it. You replace real
Jesus
prosecutors
Christ.
with counterfeit stooges who robotically do the president's bidding. Nothing in American history comes close to this complete corruption of the justice function and contamination of federal law enforcement.
Nothing says corruption of justice than removing people that are in the country illegally, right?
The good news is many serious lawyers at DOJ, including some of your own original appointees, have refused your lawless orders. Danielle Sassoon, your original pick for acting U.S. Attorney in Manhattan,
is this even about the Epstein files? Is this just them complaining about her for something unrelated?
He resigned too, writing he found no evidence to justify criminal charges. So you forced him out. You replaced him with Lindsay Halligan, Trump's personal lawyer from the Mar-a-Lago documents case, vendettas, and baseless indictments brought by the hacks left at DOJ now, with 2 different grand juries in Virginia voting down indictments against Letitia James in a single week.
This has nothing to do with the Epstein files at all. This is just like basically, oh, I've got my bucket list, my laundry list of problems. Let me just use all of them and bring everything up. Oh my God. Made a playlist? Okay, I'll look and see it. Jesus, what an idiot.
Of our armed forces on charges of seditious conspiracy simply for exercising their First Amendment rights. I hope you will heed the wisdom and the constitutional patriotism of those grand jurors and not try it again by doubling down on that humiliation.
Absolutely.
As your best lawyers are sacked for having participated in the January 6th case or just flee for the exits now, your new lawyers keep lying in court. In dozens of cases, they've been excoriated for lying to federal judges. Chief Judge Boasberg, right here in D.C., suggested your Department of Justice
he's playing on emotions. That's all they ever do.
Perpetrated a fraud on the court.
All they do.
Other judges found your statements to be, quote, inexplicably misleading, patently incredible, totally inconsistent, and so disingenuous that the court is left with little confidence that the government can be trusted to tell the truth about anything. Now, as ranking member, I asked the chairman to add a few extra rounds of questions today because we each have 5 hours of questions, not 5 minutes, but we're stuck with 5 minutes. That's clearly insufficient to give voice to America's victims and survivors and to demand answers about all the corruption and cover-ups that we see at DOJ right now. We've got just 1 round, so we ask you politely but firmly, Madam Attorney General, please do not waste 1 second of our precious time by evading questions.
He's really going to go out and get mad at her for wasting time preemptively while you just got out and you're grandstanding about a bunch of bullshit. Oh my God,
changing
you
the
wasted
subject,
10 minutes.
We're engaging in personal attacks against members of Congress. We saw your performance in the Senate, and we're not going to accept that. This isn't a game. In the Senate, you brought something with you called a burn book, a binder of smears to attack members personally for doing the people's work of oversight. Please set the burn book aside and answer our questions. And when you hear us reclaim our time, that means it's time for you to stop speaking. We only have 5 minutes. So
this is just some bullshit. I'm just going to move on. Like, this is basically him going out there. He illegally, the rat that illegally, what's this here? Defended the border being open illegally for 4 years. Yeah, I know. There needs to be consequences for people that are like that. This person has no care at all about the Epstein files. The Epstein files for somebody like this are purely a political tool to achieve an end. You don't care about the problem. You only care about the implications of it being a weapon for your political goals. So annoying. Absolutely massively fucking annoying. So this is okay, so this is the big one right here. Here we go.
Is recognized.
May I respond very briefly to her statement?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think we can do that probably on one of our members' time.
Okay, thank you. I don't want that to get away. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Behind me, I have 3 documents from the DOJ production that are emblematic of the massive failure of the DOJ to comply with the Epstein Files Transparency Act.
Yeah, why didn't it happen?
To my right is an email that was sent by the victim's lawyers to the DOJ. It was a list of names not to redact.
Okay.
Or, sorry, a list of names not to release. What did the DOJ do with this email? They released this email in the document production. Literally the worst thing you could do to the survivors, you did. And they're getting phone calls. A lot of these
How the fuck did that happen?
people didn't want to be known. And we know you touched the document because you redacted one name and you redacted the lawyer's name.
True. So it implies that they did look at it and it wasn't just simply oversight and ignorance. So they made a decision not to redact the... What the fuck?
But you left the survivor's name there. The next document I want to show you.
Oh my God.
That was in the title. The victims' survivors' names, all right?
It says victims list, and you didn't think to redact that.
The title of this one is Child Sex Trafficking. Co-conspirators. Fully redacted. And, by the way, I'm going to unredact them.
Oh no. Okay, this is the type... This is good. So you have it redacted, and they're just Post-it notes, and you're going to unredact them in front of everybody. Oh, this is perfect. Here we go.
Here. Les Wexner is in this.
Wow.
Now, your your deputy attorney general said, oh, well, he appears hundreds of times in the files. But he doesn't appear in this file until I forced you to release it, where he's listed as a co-conspirator, not to tax evasion, but to child sex trafficking, not to prostitution, not to money laundering.
Yeah, it's not like it was just, he was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. No, oh no.
Child sex trafficking. And then finally, what we have here is the third exhibit that I have is emblematic of the FD 302 release. These are the documents that we need that you're holding on to and over-redacting because they have the names of the men who are implicated. How do we know? Because the survivors gave testimony to the FBI, and it's in there.
So they know.
And what happens when you go to the portal at the DOJ to look at what's behind this redaction?
Big black box.
Another redaction. So we can't even see them. And then there's some
of these being redacted even from Congress.
Files you've pulled down from the website that we will never see because we can't search the redactions. So I have several questions for you. Who's responsible? Are you able to track?
Thank you. Thank you. And also, wasn't part of the, if I remember correctly, part of the bill was that every redaction had to be explained. Do you remember that? Because I remember when this was getting passed, they said every redaction had to be explained for why it happened. So if basically it's either she's wrong or she's wrong, you either didn't follow the law or you didn't follow the law. There's no winning answer here.
Who in your organization made this massive failure and released the victims' names? Are you able to track who it was that obscured Les Wexner's name as a co-conspirator in an FBI document.
By the way, they should be able to track that. Like, if it's anything like the IRS, is inside of the computer's internal systems, any modification to government data is tracked with a government ID, and every single action that's taken, web page that's accessed, and anything that's done is automatically tracked by a internal system that detects every single thing that happens. So the answer to this is obviously yes. Yes, you 100% can do this. Massey's cooking here. It's obvious mistakes. Yes. Server nerds can find it quickly. Well, that's how they would figure it out, right? If you made a mistake, they would look and see like, oh, why did you do this?
Do you have that kind of accountability?
Mm-hmm.
I believe Wexner's name was listed more than 4,000 times.
It's not even the answer. She's answering a different question.
Yeah, I already told you that. This is where he's listed as a co-conspirator.
Can I finish my answer?
There is no answer. No. I'd say no, bitch. Shut the fuck up. Like, you're not even answering the question.
Come on. Let me finish my answer. We corrected that within 40 minutes.
Then why was it wrong? He didn't ask. Yeah, he didn't ask how fat. Like, see, this is like, honestly, like, I love this because, like, she's getting pulled up in chat. She is. She's getting her chat logs pulled up. He asked you a question of what's 1 + 1, and you're talking about the size of Africa. You're not even answering the question. You got nothing. This has nothing to do with it.
He was already, you're acting like everybody's trying to cover up Wexner's name.
Reclaiming.
Well, somebody did, because that's how it got covered. Oh, covered up. You know what a cover up, you know what a synonym for that is? Redact. So how did that happen? Let's change the vocabulary and then pretend like it's different.
My time.
I'm going to answer this question.
Reclaiming my time. Mr. Chairman.
This is how this works.
Can I have my time back? Mr. Chairman.
The gentlelady can give her answer.
Thank God, bro. Like, not putting up with any of this fucking bullshit. This is, oh my God. I need this straight. Put this into my fucking veins, bro. Like, I want this all the time. We need this all the fucking time. She's so condescending. Like, just answer the question. Literally, just answer the question. Let her answer. No, he's not letting her answer, because this is what she's trying to do. She's trying to filibuster his time. She's trying to take enough of his time up by answering a question that he didn't ask, by then making it to where she doesn't have to actually answer the individual question. It's a clock game. Yeah, she's trying to play out the clock. No, the moment that somebody is not instantly answering your question, they should be stopped.
The time belongs to the gentleman from Kentucky.
All right, I'm reclaiming my time.
Can I give my answer?
So yes. I'm going to put the language of the bill up on the screen.
Chairman, may I give my answer on that?
Shut the fuck up.
It's a political joke, and I need to give my answer on that.
We'll let the Attorney General respond.
You're right, but not in the way you think.
And then the gentleman can move to his next question.
It's my time.
Within 40 minutes, you asked me a question. Within 40 minutes, Wexner's
she's trying to go and excuse. So
his name was added back.
Within 40 minutes of me catching you red-handed.
There was one redaction.
There was only one? No, there wasn't. There were so many more of them. This is actually so pathetic. How did you not come into here and have a better answer for it? Really? It's so embarrassing. What an insufferable, stupid bitch. This is crazy.
As a co-conspirator.
Okay. And we invited you in. This guy has Trump derangement syndrome. He needs to get...
He should have got rid of her after the Tesla thing. Trump should have got rid of her after the Tesla thing. Yeah. No, they should have already got rid of her. And this is the kind of thing, like, it's so fucking embarrassing, because, like, she should be removed for sure. I tried to tell y'all this, bro. Like, yeah, I tried to tell y'all this. Like, they should have got in. They need to get in. Oh, bro, like, I'm trying to think, like, who could they even get in as Attorney General? Like, that guy, they should get in, whoever the guy said that he wanted to hang and lynch everybody in the Epstein Files. I want to get him. I forgot who it was. His name was like Tim or something like that. Tim Burchett. I think maybe we go. Wow, see what he's doing. What's he up to? What's he got going on? Yeah, like something like that. I feel like that's a good way to do it, right? Matt Gaetz, isn't that guy like? Wasn't he involved with like an underage girl? Like, you know, right? It's like it's a conflict of interest, right? You don't want to have him on the Epstein Files.
You're a failed politician.
Gentlemen,
you need to get
a failed politician.
You to watch the video. Mr. Chairman, please restore his time and remind the witness of
all. Oh my God.
There is no credible.
Wait, this is all. Wait, this is all live. This is such a crash out.
None. If there were, I would bring the case yesterday that he trafficked to other individuals.
That's not what was discussed.
Your position as well?
Oh, it was paused. It was a video. I see.
My position is any victim who comes forward, of course, we would.
Well, how can they come forward if you're not going to meet with them? And also, by the way, I want to. So we're at 4:30. I'm going to go back just a second so I can read this. The reason why she interrupted him whenever he was going to pull up the language of the bill is in order to stop him from bringing up the fact that they obviously disregarded the law and they didn't follow the protocol that the law required them to do word for word, right? Internal DOJ communications, including emails, memos, meeting notes concerning decisions to change, not in change, and obviously this thing's in the middle, it says they need to be documented and explained. So she shut it down, and she didn't want them to bring this up because she knows that the conclusion of them bringing this up is that basically there are two options in here. To charge or not charge, right, exactly. Concerning decisions to charge, yes. It has to be written down. There's millions of documents, LMAO. Okay, well then why didn't... I mean, again, like you have do you think the military, or not military, do you think the government can't figure this out? So this is the reason why, is that in option A, the redaction was done, and it was done on purpose, which makes her look bad. And in option B, the redaction was done on accident, which also makes her look bad, because in both instances, the law was not followed. That's the reason why she interrupted it.
My position is any victim who comes forward, of course, we would love to hear from them. 1-800-CALL-FBI. Did you ask Merrick Garland that the last 4 years?
Merrick Garland isn't here.
Did you talk about Epstein?
I am reclaiming.
Merrick Garland wasn't out there saying the Epstein files were on his desk. Like, he's not there. Like, it has nothing to do with him.
Time. I'm glad you're asking about Merrick Garland.
You don't get to reclaim
because
time
this
when
is
you don't
bigger than water.
Oh my God.
Okay.
When I don't answer a question the way
this goes over 4 administrations. You don't have to go back to Biden. Let's go back to Obama. Let's go back to George Bush. This cover-up spans decades, and you are responsible for this portion of it.
And that's
now,
where the
I want to know at what point did the FBI and the DOJ decide that Lex Wessner was not a co-conspirator? Because
W to mass. See, I hope he really drills down on this. Because, like, this is the way that you can crush people, is that what they do is they make abstractions and distractions, and if you can stay focused on one individual issue, you will eventually break them. That's what you have to do.
Because our Epstein Files tried that Lex Wessner was not a co-conspirator, because our Epstein Files Transparency Act requires you, please put it back on the screen.
See her saying time's up. See, that's exactly what she was trying to do. See?
To release the internal decision about whether to prosecute him or not, and it's not in the files, and it's not in the files for any of these other men.
Time of the gentleman has expired.
May she answer?
And he's a hypocrite because he voted against the ban that we were talking about on deep fake AI porn.
What does that have to do with it? Whenever somebody gets a deep fake of porn made of them, it's weird, disgusting, and it's a massive invasion of privacy. But fundamentally, a victim is not really created in the same way that a person is created a victim whenever they're a victim of sexual assault or rape. Like, now you're trying to morally grandstand as if creating AI porn of somebody is the equivalent of actually raping them, or the Epstein Files. It's just, what are we doing here? This is pathetic. Well, bad take? No, it's not. It's obvious.
2 people voted against it, and you were one of them, hypocrite.
Honestly, Donald's got to get rid of this bitch. He does. Like, one of the best things he could do is just say, like, listen, like, we tried, we did what we needed to do. You know, we thought that she'd be able to do it, and it turns out she's not. We got to get rid of her. That's it. She mad as fuck? Yeah, she is. She's mad as fuck. She looking like a moron.
The gentleman's time has expired.
She didn't answer the question.
Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, could she answer the question?
Chairman, I was wondering.
The gentlelady's allowed, the Attorney General's allowed to respond the way she wants to respond to any member's questions, Republican, Democrat.
All right, I have unanimous consent request.
Gentleman's recognized for a UC.
Oh, all right. This is an example. I'm submitting these 302 forms that are entirely redacted, even when you go to look at them.
Without objection.
I'm submitting.
Well, here's the question, right? If Thomas Massie didn't say that he was going to release the names himself, do you think that that person's name, that Wexler guy, do you think that his name would be unredacted right now? No. And everybody knows the answer to that. Everybody knows this.
A witness statement that implicates Les Wexner.
Without objection.
I'm submitting an article from the New York Times. The DOJ released nude photos and identifiable pictures of the victims. I'm submitting a letter from A.G. Bondi, the Kash Patel, imploring him to quit keeping the files when you found out that they were keeping files from you, because they're still redacting files.
Chairman, are we going to recess for votes?
Yes, we are.
I'm submitting for unanimous consent a document of 17 individuals who've resigned because of the Epstein Files.
Without objection.
Yeah, I'd be resigning too. It's fucking ridiculous because they're trying to weaponize your position in order to push an agenda. The only way Trump can really redeem himself is if he asks for a special counsel and prosecutor to deal with this. Otherwise, he's just covering up for the system. I think that what he needs to do is he needs to get, number one, he needs to get rid of her. Like, she is a problem, and if you take, like, remove the Epstein Files from the equation, she fucked up, Kash Patel fucked up, they need to get replaced. Like, you can't have people, like, here's the thing, is that actions have to have consequences. You don't see fucking Marco Rubio fucking up all the time. You don't see, not really at least, right? You don't see Scott Bessent fucking up all the time. Absolutely not. It's them. They're fucking up constantly. Every single thing that they're supposed to do, they do it wrong. What is this? Bongino, yeah, well, he's gone.
Just want to check on what time
Trump tells him what to do. Kash is worse. I think in some cases he is. Oh, and this is the other one here too. I believe that you just lied under oath. Oh boy. Here we go. Bro, she crashed out. This is the letter, by the way. So this is the letter that was sent. Let me pull it up and look at it. Before he came into the office, requested full and complete files regarded to Jeffrey Epstein. In response to the request, read 200 pages of documents. This is so embarrassing. Like, and it makes, like, I don't know how Trump doesn't realize that this makes him look like a retard. Like, how do you not realize this? And it's like, and here's the other thing is that it makes it harder to support the policies that Trump is pushing that are good policies. Like, for example, like, you know, like, for example, like ICE, right? ICE mass deportations. It's harder to support Trump as a president whenever he's letting these things happen. It looks bad. It looks really bad, and there's no reason to do it. Because he's retarded, bro? Well, the issue is that there are some things he's retarded about, other things that he's not. And it looks bad. It makes it harder to defend somebody. I don't understand how anybody could disagree with this. It makes it harder to defend somebody's actions whenever it seems like they're trying to run a gauntlet to defend a weird child sex trafficking ring. It looks really bad. Looks awful. I don't know what to say. So you want to support him, but the people around them are retarded? I generally support things that he does, but this I don't support at all. Does that make sense? So, like, for example, the way that he, like, bombed Iran, getting the Venezuelan leader, Maduro, going and, using ICE, closing down the border, shutting down, like, different people coming into the country. Like, all of those things I totally support and I think are great. So it's not about whether I'm supporting the person or not, but whenever the person and the messenger of this message is such a flawed individual, it's like what I just said about Matt Gaetz. It's going to be very hard to have somebody who is the leader of the judicial system in the country who had to settle a fucking problem that he had with an underage girl. It looks really, really fucking bad. Like, I don't see how this isn't obvious to everybody. You trade all of that for this? It's not about a trade. It's about it being annoying. Like, not everything is a zero-sum game. I think that you can have both. Jesus.
I have a UC.
Ms. Crockett from Texas is recognized for UC.
Thank you so much. Donald Trump's approval rating implodes on his strongest issue. This is from Newsweek today. It says 40% of people approve of Trump's handling of immigration and border security, while 60% disapprove.
Without objection, admitted. Now I recognize the gentleman from California, Mr. Liu.
Absolutely fucking based. Just shut the fuck up. Yep, had nothing to do with it.
Thank you, Attorney General Bondi, for being here today. I'm going to show you two photos.
Thank you.
I'm going to show you two photos of former Prince Andrew. Prince Andrew attended various parties with Jeffrey Epstein.
Not good.
Under the law Congress passed,
not good at all.
You were allowed to redact photos to protect the victims of Epstein's sex trafficking operation. True. You redacted the photos of this victim's face because you were following the congressional law. Is that correct?
That's a pretty long pause.
I'm sorry that we redacted the victim's
because you were following the congressional law, correct?
Yes.
Okay. You have now established that please put the photos back up, that we are looking at a sex trafficking victim. Under the federal
That's right.
Victims Trafficking Protection Act, not only is Jeffrey Epstein guilty, but anyone who patronizes Epstein's sex operation is also guilty of a crime. That's why I find it absolutely despicable that you sought to protect Epstein's clients, like former Prince Andrew. Last July, you closed the case on Epstein's abusers. The July 2025 memo from your Department of Justice stated, quote, "We did not uncover evidence that could predicate an investigation against uncharged third parties." These two photos, please put the photos back up. These two photos staring you in the face are evidence of a crime and more than enough evidence to predicate an investigation against former Prince Andrew. So I ask you, Attorney General Pam Bondi, why did you shut down this investigation last July, and why have you not prosecuted former Prince Andrew?
I don't believe you asked Merrick Garland the
generational crash out. Complete and absolute generational crash out. Holy fuck. I really, like, I mean, this is like, what is this, like third grade? Oh my God, this is actually bad? Yeah, this is horrible. That's why I was saving this, right? I wanted to make sure that, I covered everything else before we got to this one. Oh, my God.
These questions when he was Attorney General and set before
I agree with you.
You twice.
I'm reclaiming my time. I agree with you. I agree with you. During the Biden administration, I called for people looking at Epstein files. Merrick Garland dropped the ball, as did Attorney General Bill.
Fucking base. Thank God. Okay, yeah, exactly. Like, it's insane that, like, I mean, yeah, okay, finally, yes, duh.
Barr, as did Alex Acosta, a whole string of failures, but you are in charge. You have the power to change things, to hold these men accountable, and you're doing the opposite. You're protecting them. So I want to move on to another man.
Can I answer
Donald Trump. I want to move on to another question.
Answer your question
what
about
question?
Protecting
you answered the question.
You're saying no. I love this.
I want to discuss.
Was she going to cry?
The man, Donald Trump, who is all over the Epstein files, like former Prince. Here's the video.
I mean, I'm actually annoyed that he didn't let her answer that question about Prince Andrew. Like, I want to know why they didn't go after him. I do want to know why. Yeah.
Like former Prince Andrew, Donald Trump attended various parties with Jeffrey Epstein. I want to know, were there any underage girls at that party or at any party that Trump attended with Jeffrey Epstein?
This is such an easy answer. You can just say the answer is yes, there were underage girls. Some of them were, kids of the people that were adults there. This is literally the easiest answer that you can give. He gave you the easiest out for this. Like, there was already evidence of it, and you could use the example of the Michael Jackson photo. She's stupid. Yeah, she's a fucking idiot. Like, I don't get this.
This is so ridiculous, and that they are trying to deflect from all the great things Donald Trump has done. There is no evidence that Donald Trump has committed a crime. Everyone knows that. This has been the most...
That's not the question that was asked. This is not that you're not answering the question. I wonder if she knows this makes Trump look worse. Am I the only person that, whenever I hear this, in my opinion, whenever I hear somebody doesn't answer a question directly, it's because they're trying to lie to you. It makes them look so much worse.
Transparent presidency. He's the one that asked that those files.
I'm reclaiming my time. I got your answer. You said there's no evidence.
Trump asked
Mr. Chairman, please stop the clock.
Stop the clock. The legislation. This is
time. Time belongs to the gentleman from California.
Okay. I'm going to put up another document from a witness who called the FBI's National Threat Operations Center, because I believe you just lied under oath. There is ample evidence in the Epstein files.
Don't you ever accuse me of a crime.
I believe you just lied under oath, and this is all on videotape. You said there's no evidence of a crime. I'm showing you. Here is a witness statement who called into the FBI's Threat Operations Center. Mm-hmm. He drove Donald Trump around in a limo. He overheard what Donald Trump said to Jeffrey on his cell phone. He was so angry, he was going to stop a limo and hurt Donald Trump. And he met a girl who said she was raped by Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. She later had her head blown off, and officers at the scene said that could not have been suicide. No one at the Department of Justice interviewed this witness. You need...
What? Why not? I'm sorry, this is retarded. This is a witness statement from 2007 and was investigated, obviously, at the time. I do think that, okay, so you're right that this guy is engaging in a degree, like he has a political goal to implicate Donald Trump. And that political goal is the prime operating function that he is working under. It's not about figuring out whether she's, like telling the truth or not. Like, I think that these are two bad actors, but I do think that she is a worse actor than he is. She definitely is.
Interview this witness immediately. Mm-hmm. Epstein should rot in hell. So should the men who patronize his operation.
The fact that they didn't interview this guy is crazy. Like, I mean, wouldn't you want to interview the guy that said this and figure out whether it's true or not? I mean, duh, of course.
And as we say here today, there are over 1,000 sex trafficking victims, and you have not held a single man accountable. Shame on you.
Because, like, I mean, think about it, right? I mean, if you were acting in good faith, what would your answer be? You would say, well, we investigated him, we looked at it, we talked to him, and we found that it wasn't really credible and there wasn't enough evidence to go off of. You would say that, well, that's a good idea. Let's go after that and figure out who it is. Let's say that, well, this isn't it, and we think this is the reason why it didn't happen. Or you would say it already happened and this is what the result of it was. You would instantly have an answer for this if you were behaving in good faith. You would. And I think this is the important thing to always keep in mind. A person that is telling the truth doesn't need to play these games. They will just simply tell you yes or no. It's one of the things I said earlier. Marco Rubio, when people ask him a question, he almost always answers the question directly. I hate when people do not answer the question directly. It makes me so fucking annoyed.
And you have not held a single man accountable. Shame on you. If you had any decency, you would resign right after this hearing concludes.
The gentleman has expired.
Should have resigned 6 months ago.
May I respond?
Yeah, I don't know how you respond. No one can.
I did not ask a question, Ms.
He doesn't want to talk about the horrific crime in California. He does not.
Wow. I don't even know what to say. This is crazy. She's like an idiot child? Yeah.
Want to talk about
I did not ask a
crime
question.
in his state.
You can't just ask stuff. I did not ask a question.
Meeting will be in order. The gentleman has yielded back his time. I think our next witness.
So I remember whenever I used to play RBGs, this is really sexist. Whenever I used to play RBGs, our RBG leader would have us always target the healers that were girls first because he knew that they would break under the pressure and they would make mistakes. We very rarely lost team fights. We did. That was very interesting. Yeah, I don't know, right? I don't know how it happened, but like, it's just like this made me think of that. She's asked straight up who she had moved to minimum. Why? Yeah. Why this even happen?
The unanimous consent?
Yes, please.
All right, the gentleman is recognized.
Mr. Chair, I have a few unanimous consent requests. I would like to submit into the record this New York Times article titled "Alex Pretty's Friends and Family Denounce Sickening Lies About His Life." I also would like to submit...
This has nothing... Like, it's actually so embarrassing that trying to use this as like a platform to push for this bullshit. Like, what the fuck does this have to do with any of it? Like, it's really like, here we go again. Yeah, it's like, this what's so annoying is it makes me mad that these people have good points because now I have to side with a disingenuous retard liar. It's very annoying to me. I'll be right back. All right. It's embarrassing, bro. It really is. We play a little Mugenics today? Yeah, I downloaded it. Not right now, though. We're getting to this. None of them really care about the Epstein Files. They only care about how they can use it against their opponents. This is a dog and pony show. It's so frustrating, isn't it? You're right. You're completely right.
This Daily Mail exclusive interview with
Daily Mail.
Vice President J.D. Vance, titled "J.D. Vance Refuses to Apologize to Alex Preddy's Family After Spreading ICE Assassin Claim." One more. My last submission request is a New York Times article titled "FBI Agent Who Tried to Investigate ICE Officer in Shooting Resigns."
They really don't want to leave their illegals, do they? We gotta, again, like, the fact that they're holding on to these illegals so hard means that it's even more important than you would even imagine to get rid of them. They have not fought this hard for anything. This is the first time I've seen Democrats fight this hard for anything. Like, they roached out on trans people instantly. They roached out on gay people instantly. Muslims instantly. Like, women instantly. But not the illegal aliens. Probably a reason for that. Roached out on healthcare instantly. What, slavery? Yeah. They haven't roached out on trans?
Thank you.
The chair now recognizes the gentlelady from North Carolina.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Gavin Newsom,
Attorney General Bondi, I think you and pretty much everybody else here and throughout the country believes that convicted sex offenders don't deserve special treatment or privileges in prison. And
this is a stupid emotional argument by her. This is a stupid argument.
Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein's co-conspirator, received perk after perk in prison. In July, she had a 2-day interview with your deputy and President Trump's former defense attorney, Todd Blanche. Yeah. Just days after that, Maxwell was transferred from a federal correctional institution in Florida to a minimum security camp in Texas, which she, as a sex offender, would normally be ineligible for.
Correct.
At this new facility, as the ranking member talked about, and by the way, it's nicknamed Club Fed. We've heard reports that she's been afforded special privileges: puppy time, private workouts, personal mail, secretarial services. Attorney General Bondi, does a convicted sex offender like Ghislaine Maxwell deserve special treatment and privileges in prison? Yes or no?
The correct answer to this is absolutely, if they can help you catch other people that are also sex offenders that are more dangerous than they are, and there's a net positive, you would absolutely give that person preferential treatment. It's a simple trolley problem that any reasonable person that actually cares about the morality of something would instantaneously make. But because people are so wrapped up in the optics of their statements rather than the actions and the outcomes of their statements, it's probably going to be difficult for her to answer this question in a truthful way. Because actually, it's so easy. It's such an easy answer, but it's not an emotionally charged answer. She won't say that, though? Yeah, because they're fucking retarded.
Let me be crystal clear on this. No. And
Thank you.
Let me keep going. No, let me keep going.
Perfect. Well, I
did not know she was being transferred.
I asked you yes or no.
She was not transferred to a lower
Mr. Chairman,
level.
Please stop the clock and remind the witness of the rules. One rule she needs to understand here.
She was transferred to a lower level, and they even ignored the Bureau of Prisons' recommendation not to do it. They overstepped the bureau that was supposed to be overseeing the transference of different prisoners. I mean, it's not even true.
So when we're agreeing, we can move on to some other things. But I want you to know that every time she does get these perks, and it's been publicly reported, that the folks she's abused, the survivors who are sitting here.
What has she done? No, somebody says like, oh yeah, and I'll expand a little bit on what I think about this. Because they said, I agree, but what has she done to catch other people who are worse? This is what I would do. So if I was the government, after she did that bullshit with like saying that she's going to plead the fifth about everything, after you made I have no problem making an effort in good faith, right? Like I have no problem at all with that. It's completely okay. But here's where I do have a problem with is whenever you go and, basically you make this effort in good faith, you extend an olive branch and then the other people refuse to take it. So what you should do is the moment that she pleaded the fifth, I would put her ass into solitary confinement, like the most brutal, oppressive, cruel thing that you possibly could do. I would do it to her that day. Instantaneously. That's what should have happened. You take away the perks, exactly. Because I have no problem playing ball with somebody that wants to play ball. But the moment that you want to throw the ball in the garbage, well, now you're going with it. That's what I think. That's how you should handle it.
They see themselves as being denied justice. They feel re-traumatized. And I'm glad that we agree on that.
Feeling re-traumatized is not a reason that you should make a decision like that. That's a stupid emotional argument. This woman's a retard.
She should not be in that prison.
Should not.
She needs to be moved back to a maximum security prison as soon as possible. But what she has told another committee here is that she won't cooperate with them unless she gets clemency from Donald Trump. It's just crazy to consider that she can be wielding this kind of influence within the administration.
True.
But that begs the question.
Especially when she did, again, whenever she didn't actually say anything in her recent, like their questioning of her. Like, that's crazy. You don't even need to release her. You can make her life hell in prison. She'll be begging for a nicer environment. Absolutely. Like, it's embarrassing that these people have no, like, they're not willing to do anything. Like, don't you want to make things better? I don't know why they don't.
Who ordered her to be transferred to the minimum security prison that she was ineligible for? Who signed off on the special privileges?
Somebody did.
Was it Mr. Blanche? Was it one of your other subordinates? So please, can you tell us who sent her there, since you don't agree she should be there?
I said I do not agree she should receive special treatment. She was transferred, I learned after the fact, to the same level facility, and that is a question for the Bureau of Prisons.
Well, did she have a dog in the other facility? I mean, because I saw her in the other facility. Place was a shithole.
I was not involved in that at all. The same level facility, I don't know why. But, you know, instead of talking about...
You don't know why? Why not? Like, are you kidding me? How do you not know that? You have the main prime witness of one of the biggest cases in American history gets moved from a completely different prison, and you don't know why it happened? Are you incompetent or are you lying? Which one is worse? Honestly, being incompetent is worse, because at least a liar, you can assume that there's at least a grand design, even if it's a bad one. I don't even know which one it is. Both?
Ghislaine Maxwell, who hopefully will die in prison. Hopefully will die in prison.
Why are you even thinking about that?
Irina Zarutska.
I have a couple of
died on a
Zarina, oh my God. This is that woman that was like crunched up in like the, on the subway station where that retard like stabbed the shit out of her, right? Like, what the fuck does this have to do with it at all? The reason why the Zarina case isn't relevant is because there's no other perpetrators. There's nothing else involved with that. It's an open and shut case. Wow, this guy's an animal. Put him in jail. Problem solved. It's over. Like, this is the most pathetic defense that I've ever seen. A 12-year-old could figure this out. Really, they could do a better job than this. This is, you know what I think is very funny? This is what it looks like whenever right-wing people apply the same type of hide-the-ball mentality that liberals play and leftists play whenever you're trying to talk about illegal immigration or something else, is that whenever they get pinned down on an issue, they bring up a completely unrelated, stupid comparison that's totally different than the original conversation in order to hopefully distract as like a smokescreen to like not have to face any accountability for what they're saying. It's so obviously pathetic. I can't believe that anybody's believing this. Except that, yeah, they're worse at it. And also, like, a lot of the Republicans don't go along with this. Maxwell wants out. Why hasn't she given names? Well, the thing is that the whole thing is political grandstanding. I mean, this is really bad, though. I mean, this is really, really bad. Crime is greater than Epstein. Her job is more than Epstein. Yeah. And how's she doing on the rest of it? How many of the Minnesota people were arrested? How long did it take to take care of that? How many of the Tesla bombers got arrested? How many of the people that are advocating for killing people on Reddit got arrested? How many people that are, how much longer do we have to go? Is Don Lemon in jail? How long did that take? Get the fuck out of here.
Way. Right, and I absolutely...
You don't talk about that.
I have been talking about it and actually helping with these issues. But we're going to move back to you.
I bet we are.
Yes, of course, because you're here to testify. That's what the whole point of this endeavor is. So, of course, we're moving back to you. It is all about you. So...
She's acting like a high school girl.
As we've heard, she took the fifth in response to every single question in that committee hearing. And her lawyer dangled the offer of clemency. Should Donald Trump pardon or commute her sentence?
Instantaneously, without a second of hesitation, if what she can say will lead to the convictions of 5 noteworthy and powerful people, absolutely I would make that trade. It's the morally correct decision. This is such an easy answer. Duh. Of course. But only after it leads to convictions. Not immediately. Not preemptively. Like, clemency should be a term of condition upon the success of her making the implications. Disagree? That's what I would do. That's what I would do every single time. Why only 5? Wait, you want to say 10? I'd be 10. 10's fine. Yeah, 10. Okay, sure. It's a matter of degree. Release a psychopath pedo into the world like this? I wouldn't let them have full freedom like that again. I'd just have them in like a area where they're effectively, like they can live a normal life, but, at the same time, they're separated from the rest of the public, right? That's what I'd pretty much do. Yeah, absolutely. Like, of course. Like a halfway house or something like that? Yeah. Witness protection? Sure. It's obviously the right decision to make. I don't know why that, like, what's frustrating to me is that we're dominated by this emotional reasoning, and you can never actually have an honest conversation about what the right thing to do is. It's very frustrating to me.
Should she be released from prison, yes or no? You said you hope she dies there, so I'm hoping the answer is no.
I already answered that question.
Good. I'm very glad. I really like this bipartisan agreement about
when
what
it
should
agrees
happen
with you. But you don't want to talk about Irina Zarutska. You don't want to talk about
I talk about her all
by
the
a
time,
violent crime
but I am not here to testify before Congress.
This has to be her last day, right? This has to be it. Like, there's no way Donald is watching this and saying, good job. Like, I mean, this has to, like, there's no way. I mean, where's JD? Like, bro, this guy, like, you're young enough, you know how, like, you know what's going on. JD knows what's going on. Marco Rubio, y'all know what's going on. Why the fuck do you not have that? Like, it's just so annoying, bro. Like, it's so fucking annoying.
You are. That is your job today. That's what you're getting.
You won't admit it, pick a bad AG.
I want you to know that your own DOJ employee, he's recently been demoted and had some other problems, advises on pardons. Do you think he will be advising Mr. Trump on any kind of clemency or pardon for Ghislaine Maxwell?
I'm not going to speculate, and you couldn't even identify properly. That's why you don't want to talk about Irina Zarutska.
She's acting, people say, what is she doing? She is acting like a patronizing, nasty, high school sorority mean girl. That's what she's doing. This is just typical fucking, like, it's textbook behavior. She's acting like a nasty bitch.
couldn't properly.
She's still hot? Yeah, exactly. How do you think how the fuck do you think that she gets away with it? Do you want to know who some of the nastiest, most obnoxious old women are? You know what my dad told me? Is that every single time that he would go and he was a carpenter, he was a painter, and so he would go fix up these houses. And the nastiest, most crotchety, bitchiest, most mean old women, if he goes into their house and he sees the photos of them, they used to be hot as fuck. It's because guys have put up with it. That's the reason why.
Identify her relative.
I absolutely have been, and her family, by the way,
that's how it is.
Appreciates all of the condolences, all of the help, everything
Jesus
that our law
Christ.
enforcement in North Carolina has been doing to help her family. Her family feels well treated. Thank you, and I yield back.
Oh my God.
Quote, if you come for law enforcement, the Trump administration will come for you, end quote. I want to show you just a brief video. It's about 30 seconds, and I'll ask you a couple questions about it.
Oh my God. Holy fuck, man. We're gonna go through this again? Oh my God. No, bro. Fuck.
Disgusting. I'm former law enforcement. You're disgusting. You are the Nazi. You are the Gestapo. You can't see it because you're chasing your pension, right? Your pension, your retirement, right? That's what runs your life, your retirement. The sad thing is they're not even going to get their pension because it's going to be worthless. And shame on you. Shame on you. Shame on you. Yeah. Fuck that.
Yep. Was January 6th to do with Epstein? Okay, here we go.
Attorney General Bondi, that man works for you now, right?
Who was that, Congressman?
The man in that video, the one who was in the police-worn body cam footage, the one allegedly yelling, "Kill him," at police officers on January 6th, his name is Jared Wise.
He does work for us.
He works for you at the Department of Justice.
He does.
This is an individual whom a federal grand jury indicted for 2 felonies and 4 misdemeanors related to his participation in the attack on January 6th. One of those charges was forcibly assaulting, resisting, opposing, impeding, intimidating, and interfering with police with the intent to commit another felony.
Not good.
This is who you choose as the chief law enforcement officer of the United States of America to hire at the Department of Justice. Someone on video yelling, "Kill him," at police officers, right?
I believe he was pardoned by President Trump.
Oh, he was
Absolute crash out. Total crash out. Wow. Would your take be if he got shot, he knew the risks? If he was violent, yeah, of course. Rip Bozo.
Pardoned.
Do it.
You're right. You're right. Mm-hmm. Pardoned by President Trump for his offense. Pardoned for yelling, "Kill him," at police officers. And yet you expect hardworking police officers across the country to believe that you take law enforcement seriously.
It was a mistake for Trump to have done that. It was a mistake to have done that. There's no reason to pardon anybody doing this. She's really dragging Trump down. Yeah, it was stupid.
Imagine the reaction.
It wasn't. It was not a mistake to pardon 90% or 95% of the January 6ers. Because, yeah, sure, of course, those people, it's fine. But the 5% that were actually problematic, yeah, they shouldn't have gotten a pardon.
Folks across the country hearing the chief law enforcement officer of the United States refuse to even condemn what that individual whom you've now hired did. But in any event,
yes,
let's talk a little bit about some of the other divisions within the Department of Justice and what's happened over the last year.
Why would you hire this
You're familiar
person?
with the Public Integrity section of the DOJ's criminal division. I think it's referred to as PIN. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. Do you know which presidential administration under which the PIN was first created?
I can tell you what administration that the weaponization was ended under.
I'll reclaim my time. This wasn't a trick question.
You don't get to
Attorney
reclaim
General.
your time.
Madam Attorney General.
Because I don't like
Mr. Chairman, will you explain to the witness that he does reclaim his time?
Because I don't answer a question to your satisfaction?
Mr. Chairman.
Madam Attorney General.
Well, yeah, of course. That's the whole yeah, that's exactly right. Like, yes, yeah, as a matter of fact, yes, bitch. Duh. Master Karen, I know.
The time belongs to the gentleman from Colorado.
The president under which PIN was created was Gerald Ford. It was created after Watergate. I'm not asking a question, Madam Attorney General. The administration under which it was created was Gerald Ford. When you first started as the Attorney General of the United States, there were 35 people working in that office. There are now 2 people working in that office because you have gutted it. How many people work for the National Cryptocurrency Enforcement Team in the criminal division today?
Can I answer the question about PIN?
I've asked you a question. How many people work?
You've asked me a question, but you don't
How
want
many
the
people
answer.
work
I'm not
for the
gonna answer
National
your questions the way you
Cryptocurrency
want.
Enforcement Team? You won't answer how many
I'll
people?
answer PIN.
You.
This is crazy. This is really crazy. Wow. Honestly, like, I expected this to be bad, but this is so much worse than I thought it would. This is like, remember back in like an Elden Ring where like the game came out and it was even as bad as it was so good. It was better than you could ever imagine. It's like, you go through 2 invisible walls and then there's like a whole new area and there's like 7 bosses in it. It's like, oh my God, right? It's so good. This is like the opposite of that, where it's like, oh, there's no way it was this bad. There's no way she embarrassed herself this much. And then there's invisible walls into levels of embarrassment that I didn't even know existed. This is like, bro, we're doing a PhD on how to be a fucking idiot. How to be a dumb bitch. Oh my God.
PIN will not be
you know what?
weaponized.
You know what?
What's
Madam
funny
Attorney
about
General,
this?
I'll say to the chairman.
What's funny about
Chairman,
this?
you know what the answer is? And I think I
What's
understand
funny
why the
about
Attorney General
this?
does not want to answer the question. Because you eliminated the National Cryptocurrency Enforcement Team last year. So I understand why you don't
Why
want
would you get rid of that whenever cryptocurrency is bigger than ever and the president's even involved with it and he pardons somebody who was this is the...
tell the American people who works there.
Yeah, I
no one
understand
works
why
there
you don't want to
anymore,
talk about
Madam
Mohammed
Attorney
Solomon
General.
in
So,
your district.
In any event,
who murdered people.
Mr. Chairman, will you stop the clock so his time is not wasted by the witness?
I think that there is one element of this, to give her credit. I think that it is true that Democrats have no problem excusing bad behavior from their side, but they want to hold Republicans to a different standard. Like, a good example of this is John Jones, or whatever the fuck his name was, and I think it was in Virginia, where he was making all of these statements about how he wanted to kill, this political opponent of his and his family. And it's absolutely true that they don't hold each other to a high standard, but in my opinion, you need to hold both of them to a high standard. And you got to go after them, and you've got to go after people like Pam Bondi. You've got to go after all of them. Because at the end of the day, neither of these people, both of these people are playing for their own team, and both of these teams, you're not on it.
Very generous with allowing extra time when we have these
So that's
little
what I think.
disputes.
I understand.
You got the time, Mr. Goose?
I might as well ask
No one's acting in good faith?
the
No.
chairman these questions.
I'd be happy
because
to answer
what
some
is
of your
what's,
questions.
No, they're
what's
not.
profound, the questions I've
Profound?
asked,
The crime in
questions
your
I've
district.
asked, Mr. Chairman,
What the fuck does this have to do with
are
it?
not trick questions. They're not gotcha questions. They're actually basic questions about how the Department of Justice functions and the unwillingness of this Attorney General to answer them in good faith. When a member of Congress asks how many people work at the National Cryptocurrency Enforcement Team and the Attorney General refuses to answer it,
Yeah, why'd you get rid of it?
it is not a coincidence. It's because she eliminated the team. Why? Because her boss, the President of the United States, is making money hand over fist, $1.4 billion over the course of the last year through cryptocurrency holdings.
Probably more.
I think what is happening at the Department of Justice is a disgrace, Mr. Chairman, and I would urge you
Yes.
to gain control of this hearing. With that, I yield back the balance of my time.
Yeah. I would ask the gentleman, does he agree with the standing up of the Deputy Attorney General for dealing with fraud? That's something that's happened in this administration, first time. You talked about Penn. That happened with this Justice Department.
We're talking about this committee.
Mr. Chairman.
Isn't it crazy how, like, everybody is just trying to cover up fucking scams and crimes? Like, you just have a bunch of retards up here, right? That are just lying to each other, misrepresenting everything, and then trying to cover up each other's scams. It's really amazing. It is. This is so, it's beyond insufferable. It really is, isn't it? But yeah, I can't believe this. It's unreal. Well, how does this even happen?
New York recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Bondi, I went over to the department yesterday for a couple of hours to review some of the unredacted materials. And I am looking forward to your detailed explanation for why you have withheld almost half of the documents, which is required.
Can you imagine that? Every single conspiracy theory, except for like 5, have been confirmed with half of the documents. I wonder what the other half is going to be. Really? Like, can you imagine that? Like, we're going to find out that there's Garth is real. We're going to find out that, yes, Hillary Clinton is a lizard. Like, we're going to have, like, bro, the conspiracy theory, like, community is going to be dead. It's going to be dead. They're going to be invalidated.
By the bill. Now, obviously, there are 3 million documents, so I didn't get through much.
Yeah, we're going to find out Cthulhu's real.
But one thing I didn't see was the client list that you said you had on your desk a year ago. I did, however, find a couple of important documents. An 86-page prosecution memo from the Southern District of New York and a draft indictment from Florida against Jeffrey Epstein's co-conspirators. For reasons that I cannot understand nor are permitted by the bill, they were still redacted, even for members of Congress. So, Ms. Bondi, will you commit right here to immediately providing those 2 documents in unredacted form to members of Congress? Not a complicated question.
Well, I guess it is for you because you have a law degree and those are privileged.
Okay. They're not privileged, but we will discuss that.
Isn't the law of Congress overruled that anyway? Like, I'm pretty... Dude, I told you, bro. Like, I told you, just complete fucking crash out. What's keeping the actual victims from running around and outing the people that abuse them? They're probably afraid. But I agree. I do think that some of those people need to come out and say what's happening. Like, I don't know what the other outcome could be, but I just don't feel comfortable, like, putting a lot of pressure on victims like that to be like, no, it's actually your responsibility to do what the government won't do. Like, I think it's a little bit unfair.
Later. I also found an email that I have right here from Jeffrey Epstein to Ghislaine Maxwell that was unredacted. And it included notes of statements that Donald Trump made about his prior relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. Now, there is no reason for this to be hidden from the American people. There is no privilege, there is no attorney-client privilege, and I see you're checking with your staff, and I can assure you, staff, this is not under attorney-client privilege because it was sent from Jeffrey Epstein to Ghislaine Maxwell. Will you commit to publicly providing the unredacted version of this so that the American people can understand the extent of Donald Trump's lies about his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein?
They should release this. Like, they should. Of course, people deserve to know this, for better or for worse. They do.
You're about as good of a lawyer today as you were when you tried to impeach President Trump in 2016. Have you apologized?
What does that have to do with that? Honestly, next time they should just go to your local sorority, get the drunkest, bitchiest 19-year-old, and just have her fill in for Pam Bondi next time. Nobody will be able to tell the difference. Just get a blonde, so people are like, oh, yeah, sure. It's the same thing.
For that in 2019.
So will you unredact this? Will you
were
unredact
lead
this?
counsel on that. Privileged.
I'm asking you, will you unredact this?
Privileged.
Privileged, of course.
It's privileged? What? Privilege for what?
I look forward to discussing this more. Now, these are obviously improper redactions.
And let me stop for a minute.
I'm talking. I'm
if they're
talking.
Not privileged,
quiet.
Don't yell at me. If they're not
Mr. Chairman, would you
privileged,
stop the clock? This is on your time. It's not on Mr. Goldman.
If they're not privileged.
What a crash out. This is embarrassing.
Your improper redactions.
You'll like my answer.
To continue to protect
time belongs to the member.
We'll be happy to release them.
We'll stop the clock. We'll stop the clock. Time belongs to the member. Go ahead.
Even though you used improper redactions to protect Donald Trump and other predators associated with Jeffrey Epstein, you did the exact opposite thing with the survivors and victims of this scheme.
Total fuck up.
So their identification information was really the only thing required to be redacted, and it was not. And it's clear this was not a mistake. This was not by accident. This was not because you only had 30 days when you really used 75, and that doesn't even include all the hours last March that you were redacting it. But I'll tell you why it's clear it wasn't a mistake. There is an email entitled Epstein Victim List. There are 32 names. 1 is redacted. 31 are not. So someone looked at it and decided to redact something. And I will tell you that that is clearly intentional.
And I bet inside of the government system, there is a tool that they can reverse and look at who made the redaction on 31 or whatever the fuck it was. And you got to go and ask that person, why did they do it wrong?
To intimidate these survivors and victims. Now, in an interview last week...
How will you tell me that's intentional?
In an interview last week, Deputy...
So you just fucked it up on accident? You just accidentally erased all the victims' name on accident? Oh, that's so much better. Okay, great. Well, now I don't need to worry.
Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche...
You can't go off script.
...said that any victim that wants to speak with the department has done so, hopefully. Well, thanks to the incredibly brave people sitting here behind you, we can actually ask them if that's true. Now, would the survivors and victims who are here please stand up one more time? Just by show of hands, how many of you or your loved ones actually have met with the Department of Justice and provided testimony and estimate and evidence?
Let me guess, nobody's raising their hand? Okay.
And of those of you who have not met, which is everyone, how many of you have reached out either individually or through a lawyer or representative to offer to provide testimony and evidence? All of them.
So anybody acting in good faith, what they would do, if Pam Bondi was acting in good faith right now, is she would just say, you know what, turn around, I'm sorry, I'm going to meet with you guys right after this. That's what anybody, like if she was acting in good faith, that's what she would do. So anything that's not that is not good faith. You see, like, anybody knows this if you've ever bought and sold things illegally. You have to operate on a higher standard of trust. If somebody shows up and they bring 4 of their friends and it was supposed to be one person, you can't work with that person again. If somebody tries to sell you something and it's not what you were buying, well, you can't work with that person again because you're not operating in good faith. You're not doing, because somebody that doesn't want to fuck you over is going to do exactly what they said they were going to do. So any deviation from that is in a beneficial way towards the other party should be treated as if it is intentional. I don't know why people don't understand this.
And of those of you, all of you who have reached out, how many of you were denied or ignored by the Department of Justice?
Yes.
All of them. And despite the shameful and despicable efforts by Ms. Bondi and her department to intimidate you, how many of you are still willing to speak to the Department of Justice? All of them. Well, Ms. Bondi, it looks like you have some more witnesses to talk to.
Gentleman's time has expired.
And I yield back.
We will go to the good gentleman from North Carolina, Congressman Knott. Thank you.
May I have a moment, Congressman?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Here we go. Here's the photograph. This is why he wanted to repeat everything that had been said previously on Epstein.
Why aren't you explaining why you didn't meet with the victims? Just explain that. That's what matters. Like, just explain, like, who's this retard? Who's the retard?
This is his state, New York. You probably don't even know who.
There's a retard in New York. I had no idea. What did he do?
This is Wahid Mohammed from Afghanistan.
Yes, because
Send him back.
No longer a prosecutor.
Convicted of assault. Wow, he represents New York. Wow.
Send him back. Like, this is what's so annoying to me. Yeah. Okay, send him back. God, right. Put him in a coal mine. Send him to El Salvador. Send him back to Afghanistan. I don't give a shit. Who cares?
Yet he doesn't care about the illegal aliens convicted of crimes. Assault and homicide.
They're both bad.
No longer a prosecutor, so he doesn't care about his constituents.
And it's crazy that you went in and you were prepared to print out photos of things that are totally unrelated to this, rather than actually talk about the topic. I hope that there are no conservatives or Republicans that are bending over backwards to defend this, because this is the kind of retard behavior that nobody should be in favor of. Nobody should be trying to, like, rationalize this or anything else. Like, yes, Democrats bullshit and they do this too. Definitely. But anybody that's going around there trying to justify this behavior is a moron. Absolute, total, someone in the chat defending it. Listen, I understand that Democrats don't hold each other accountable and everything, but, like, am I the only person? Like, this person is clearly not representing my interests as a citizen. They are not representing my interests. High guard layoffs? I know, we're going to get to it, but we have to finish this. This is more important, even more important than high guard. But I know. So I am not being represented as a voter. That's why I didn't vote. I didn't think they would represent me. I was right. This is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Here we go. Arson.
Yeah, they're laying people off.
El Salvador, Miguel Palacios.
So wait a minute. A Mexican in somewhere in America set something on fire? So this has to, what does this have to do with Epstein? So really, like, well, wait a minute. No. You see, so that Miguel. No. Wait, hold up. So, bro, guess what? He set some shit on fire. Oh my God.
Fermin Flores Ramales.
Right. From what? A Guatemalan?
Mexico.
From Mexico. Okay, so a Mexican. What did a Mexican do?
Rape.
A Mexican raped somebody. Okay.
Let's talk about the 70% of immigrants who are detained without a criminal conviction or arrest.
Stop the clock. Time belongs to Congressman Knott.
Questions recognized.
Uh-huh.
New York.
So anyway, that's it. And send him home. Yeah, it's so fucking embarrassing, man. She changes the subject every single time she does.
Questions recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, Attorney General Bondi, right here. We are joined in this room by some of the thousands of survivors from Jeffrey Epstein's horrific sex trafficking.
It's a Karen showdown.
They have shown such incredible courage in speaking out, in demanding accountability to bring the predators and pedophiles to justice. The Epstein Files Transparency Act required your Department of Justice to disclose the perpetrators connected with Epstein.
You know what really makes me mad at them? Is because she gives these fucking retards, like this stupid bitch, like she shouldn't even be in the government at all. Like if it was up to me, she wouldn't even be in the country. Why the fuck are you giving them any ammunition that's accurate? Why are you giving them a reason? Why are you giving them any legitimacy? It's such a massive mistake.
Epstein's criminal activities and to redact the information of survivors to protect their identities. Let me show you what actually happened. First, in violation of the law, your department has shown a pattern of redacting the names of powerful predators. Here behind me is one example of an email from Epstein to a man whose name was redacted. The email reads, quote, "Where are you? Are you okay? I loved the torture video."
They saw the videos. How about that? They saw the clips.
Only after members of Congress demanded that we see the unredacted files did the world learn the name of this individual, Sultan Ahmed bin Sulayem, the chairman and CEO of a company that had financial ties to President Trump's business and personal ties to Trump's advisor, Steve Bannon.
That is insane. You can't defend that. It's just awful.
Second, the survivors were not similarly protected, also in violation of the law. Here is another email titled Epstein Victim List. We have blurred the names of the survivors for their protection, but your Department of Justice initially released this list of 32 survivors' names with only one name redacted, along with numerous files that disclose not only the names, the emails, and the addresses of survivors, but also nude photographs and even the identities of Jane Does who had been protected for decades until your department released their names. Survivors are now telling us that their families are finding out for the first time that they were trafficked by Epstein. In their words, quote,
"Through a leak? Oh my God.
This release does not provide closure. It feels like a deliberate attempt to intimidate survivors, punish those who came forward, and reinforce the same culture of secrecy that allowed Epstein's crimes to continue for decades." To the survivors in the room, if you are willing, please stand.
Oh boy.
And if you
They're
are
doing
willing,
it again.
Please raise your hands if you have still not been able to meet with this Department of Justice. Please know for the record that
Can you ask her why? Like, ask her why not?
Every single survivor has raised their hand. Attorney General Bondi, you apologized to the survivors in your opening statement for what they went through at the hands of Jeffrey Epstein. Will you turn to them now and apologize for what your Department of Justice has put them through with the absolutely unacceptable release of the Epstein files and their information?
She should. She should. She fucked up. It's a fuck up.
Congresswoman, you sat before Merrick Garland sat in this.
We gotta get rid of this bitch. They gotta get rid of her. Like, honestly, like, I don't think that's enough. I think that after they get her out of this position, they should probably pursue criminal charges. They should. Like, I mean, this is not like you're not doing your job. And you're not doing your job at the expense of other people. And why is it that that's okay? Why are we letting this happen? Why we put up with this shit? But it's embarrassing. Well, under oath, you go the whole thing. You go as many as you can. We watched the first hearing. She's done the same. You didn't react like that? Well, yeah, probably I didn't know because this is a lot more definitive. You have concrete examples that are one for one that are definitively wrong without, you don't need to be a partisan to think this. You don't have to have, all of these opinions to think this. I don't know what I said on some other thing that happened in the past, but that was very different than whenever you have the information that was not done properly, that was just released.
Chair,
yeah, we didn't have the information then.
Attorney General Bondi.
No, can I finish my answer?
No, I'm going to reclaim my time because I asked you a specific question that I would like you to answer, which is, will you turn to the survivors? This is not about anybody that came before you. It is about you taking responsibility for your Department of Justice and the harm that it has done to the survivors who are standing right behind you and are waiting for you to turn to them and apologize for what your Department of Justice has done.
Members get to ask the questions, the witness gets to answer in the way they want to answer. The Attorney General can
That's
respond.
not accurate, Mr. Chairman.
Because she doesn't like the answer. So,
the answer is Merrick Garland. This is like asking if somebody likes pancakes or waffles, and you reply and you say, like, I don't know, Saturn. Like, it's not even, it has nothing to do with it.
Mr. Chairman,
why
I have asked
didn't she ask Merrick Garland this?
I am reclaiming my time, and when I reclaim my time, it is
Mr. Chairman, the gentlelady's reclaimed her time.
I'm not going to get in the gutter for her theatrics.
The time belongs to the gentlelady.
What a great clip. You're trying to avoid, getting clipped in a bad way, and then apologizing to the survivors is getting in the gutter. Like, why would you even say that? Like, it's just stupid.
The lady has 17 seconds.
Thank you. You're not going to answer this question, so let me just
Chairman,
say this.
I'll direct it to
what
you.
a massive cover-up.
No, I'm answering a question.
Chairman, will you restore her time? The witness is interrupted.
I'm not going to get in the gutter with this woman.
Stop the
She's
time
doing theatrics.
Let me have my time.
The gentlelady from Washington controls the time. The gentlelady has 17 seconds. You can proceed with your final 17 seconds.
What a massive cover-up this has been and continues to be. Donald Trump made the release of the Epstein Files the center of his political campaign because he thought it would.
That's a misrepresentation.
Would benefit him. Then you got into office, Attorney General, claimed to have a client list, only to then say that there was no list. Your deputy, Todd Blanche, met alone with Ghislaine Maxwell and transferred her to a minimum security prison. And now you continue the cover-up. And I wish that you would turn around to the survivors who are standing right behind you and on a human level,
Chairman,
Chair now recognizes the chair.
What you have done.
The time of the gentlelady expired. The gentlelady, you have no time to yield back. We appreciate that. We appreciate the thought. And I would argue.
What a fucking disgrace, man. It's insane. It's like, yeah, it's the Karen verse. It is. Do you think if victims, if not midterms, they would fight for victims the same as now? Yeah, because it's a good idea for them to do that.
The central issue in the last election, the presidential election, was securing the border. The gentleman from Arizona who knows something about securing the border is up for 5 minutes.
Thank you.
Time of the gentleman has expired.
I have a UC, Mr. Chairman.
And that is the gentlelady from Texas.
I ask unanimous consent to enter into the record. El Paso airspace reopened after FAA quickly rescinds 10-day flights restriction. This was published by the Texas Tribune on February 11th, 2026, and it says it was because of an impasse with the DOD over the use of unmanned military aircraft and not triggered by Mexican cartel drones.
Without objection.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman. I didn't hear back about the second round of questions. I assume that's not happening. I just want to be able to assure the members, certainly on my side, if not both sides.
That's not a point of order.
No, that every member will get 5 minutes with the witness.
Somebody said, the supposed victims could very easily offer up names besides Epstein and Maxwell, so they haven't. You're becoming a conspiracy theorist? Here, let me blow this up. Why? What am I saying that's wrong? No, we're gonna pull it up. Yep. You've been malding. What am I saying that's inaccurate? Go ahead. I want to know. It's a very interesting question. You've been mad for a while. Why are you mad? He talks like he's from Britain? Maybe. What are you eating? I'm eating beef jerky. I just got hungry, sorry. I haven't eaten it. I like beef jerky a lot. I eat it all the time. It's like the only thing I eat. Jerky? Y'all shut up. Don't tell me you've been tapping around. You've been tapping around on this, like, for what? I don't understand this. Ridiculous. They've been interviewed by FBI, just not the administration. Then why can't she explain why they didn't interview him? Why didn't she just say that? I don't even understand, because if that interview was sufficient, then why wouldn't they say that? Why explain to retards? Because that's what you have to do. You're in front of Congress, you're an elected representative, and you have to explain what your process is between, like, solving this problem that people want to see solved. That's why. I'm gonna give it a little bit longer, but this is just, it's taking their so-called victims are gonna release their own list. Where is it? Oh, have you ever thought about, like, I'm just gonna ban you because you're not answering, you're not engaging in anything. You're just talking.
There'd be 5 minutes for each.
Not even like you get 5 minutes. Yeah.
With the witness. Okay, very good.
Yeah. Okay. And are you?
It's like I ask a question, you answer, you bring up something different. It's like exactly what we're watching.
Next, gentleman from New York is recognized.
Like, I answer your question directly.
Mr. Chairman,
you don't answer questions directly.
I want to begin by acknowledging the survivors of Jeffrey Epstein's horrific abuse who are in the room with us today. I want to thank all of you for your bravery in speaking out. I want to say that you and the other survivors of these heinous crimes deserve better from this Department of Justice. In particular, it is shocking that the department did not redact the names of Epstein's victims, but it did redact the names of their abusers. I don't know whether this was done out of incompetence or whether it was deliberate and malicious, but either way, it is completely unacceptable.
Idea. Yep.
Even more troubling, the DOJ has failed to bring any of these perpetrators to justice.
You know what I would do?
Instead,
I would ask if they can go, if inside of the government system, they can figure out who made which redactions and why. Like, because that's what I would ask. Is like, because if they can figure out, like who made which redaction, because it was done electronically, by the way. And the reason how I know it's done electronically is that even the words that were not redacted, like, you could copy paste them over and you could get the information, which means that this was an electronic thing and it wasn't done by hand with, like, whiteout or something and then put onto the internet.
Engaged in a relentless pursuit of Donald Trump's perceived enemies. I want to focus on just one example. The Attorney General of my home state of New York, Tish James. This DOJ has been hell-bent on securing an indictment against Ms. James for something, anything, simply because she held Donald Trump's companies accountable for years of financial fraud. And indeed, the department manufactured an investigation against her for alleged, quote, mortgage fraud. But the U.S. attorney leading the investigation, Eric Siebert, a Trump appointee, refused to bring charges against Ms. James because there was simply no evidence. Unfortunately, a prosecutor who refuses to do Trump's bidding has no place in this DOJ, so Mr. Siebert was forced out. Trump could not contain his fury that he expressed to you in a social media post addressed to you by name. I'm sure you've seen it. Quote, I fired him and there is a great case, he wrote to you about Mr. Siebert. Then we moved down. We can't delay any longer. It's killing our reputation and credibility. They impeached me twice and indicted me 5 times over nothing. Justice must be served now. And obviously, you followed that order. Lindsay Halligan, Trump's former defense lawyer who had never prosecuted a case in her life, was installed to replace Mr. Siebert, and it was clear that part of her mandate was to go after Ms. James. Halligan immediately sought an indictment which a court dismissed because Halligan was illegally put into the role. But your department was undeterred, and not once, but twice, it tried to indict Attorney General James in separate courts. Both grand juries rejected you and refused to indict her.
Okay.
It is practically unheard of for a grand jury to refuse an indictment. In 2016, it happened in just 6 cases out of over 150,000 offenses.
That's a lot.
And you had it happen twice in the same week, in 2 different courts. That must have been humiliating. And now there are reports that you are continuing to investigate her.
What does this have to do? Like, I mean, really, it's like, did she do something wrong or not?
The amount of resources that have gone into targeting Attorney General James, months of investigations.
Like, I don't even care about this because, like, I mean, they absolutely tried to bend the rules to push for the most extreme punishment for Trump. They absolutely did that. And so now he's doing that to them. Well, you shouldn't have started this game if you didn't want him to play it too. Like, that's too bad. Like, I don't give a shit about this at all. But it has nothing to do with it, whether this retard gets arrested or not. It doesn't matter. It should be based off of whether they broke the law or not. I mean, really.
Multiple failed indictments is astounding.
Yeah.
Since your own prosecutors told you that there is not enough evidence to support a conviction, it's clear that you were going after her simply because she held President Trump accountable and he wants to punish her. And she is just one name on a long list of Trump political enemies that DOJ is reportedly targeting. From Jerome Powell and Lisa Cook at the Federal Reserve to James Comey, numerous Democratic members of Congress.
I think they should have gone after those people too. Like, I'm of the mindset that I like the fact that Trump went after these people, and I also think that he should go after the Epstein people too. I think it's all bad. I think we should be doing this constantly. Like, we don't do this enough.
John Brennan, Jack Smith, Democratic officials in Minnesota, Chris Krebs, Miles Taylors, and more. And those are just the ones we know about. In contrast to these politically motivated investigations, grasping at something they can charge their enemies with, we now have concrete evidence of disgusting criminality revealed in the Epstein Files. So I really have just one question for you. How many of Epstein's co-conspirators have you indicted? How many perpetrators are you even investigating?
First, you showed it. I find it.
How many have you indicted?
Excuse me. I'm going to answer the question.
You see, that RBG tactic works.
Answer my question.
No, I'm going to answer the question.
She's mad.
I want to answer the question.
No,
Your
you're
theatrics
the
are
question
ridiculous.
the way I asked it.
Chairman Jordan, I'm not going to get in the gutter with these people, but I'm going to answer the question.
How many have you indicted?
Again, the time belongs to
Reclaiming my time.
The time belongs.
I think it's very interesting.
Reclaiming my time.
I think it's very interesting.
And you can reclaim your time.
When he talks about they indicted, the president said they indicted him twice.
Mr. Chairman, please stop the clock and stop the clock.
Oh my God!
Here we go with these theatrics.
Jesus!
Time belongs to the gentleman from New York. We will give you a few more seconds.
I honestly, one of the things is that, like, I think that they need to bring back canings in, like, the Senate and stuff. Because, like, whenever I see, like, for example, this happens in a lot of the Balkan countries pretty regularly. I mean, let's be honest, it happens pretty regularly. Where, like, there's a wrestling match in the Senate. Like, if you've got your guy in there, you know, Dmitry is your guy, and he's going to throw down against Vladimir, and he is ready to wrestle Vladimir onto the fucking ground on the Senate whenever they're both wearing 3-piece suits, it's like, you know that he is in it for the love of the game. Right? He is. He's ready to do that. But, like, for whatever fucking reason, we don't have that here. Like, we got to bring that back.
We'll do that, but when you ask a question,
like Turkey,
you may not like the answer, but she gets to answer.
The question was, how many of Epstein's...
They don't like the answer, Chairman,
my time.
because it's honest. So
it's
he
honest.
asked a 4-minute question.
Restore 45 seconds, Mr. Nadler, please, Mr. Chairman.
Answer.
You can let her filibuster all day long, but not on our watch. Not on our time. No way.
Just answer the question. It's so easy.
And I told you about that, Attorney General, before you started.
You don't tell me anything.
I did tell you because... Saw what you did in the Senate, Attorney General, before you started.
You don't tell me.
Yeah, I did tell you because we saw what you did in the Senate.
How fucking pathetic. You don't tell me.
Will be in order.
I should get back at least 45 seconds.
We will give you a few more seconds. I said that already.
45 seconds.
Okay, I'm timing right now, Mr. Nadler. Go.
All right. My time. The answer to my question, how many of Epstein's co-conspirators has she indicted, is 0. You have been the Attorney General for a whole year, and your DOJ fired the lead prosecutor of this case, sat on evidence this entire time, and claimed falsely last July that there were no more leads.
An obnoxious
It took
bitch.
an act of Congress for you to finally release part of the Epstein files.
You know we pay her.
When you did,
that's crazy,
you
right?
included personal information about the victims while protecting the names of abusers.
Time of the gentleman has expired.
Have been brought to justice, but enormous resources
Time
dedicated
of the gentleman
to
has
Trump's
expired, and
it's
obviously
clear that under your leadership, the Department of Justice
there was
no longer
no
works
question
for
in
American
there.
people. It works
to
for
respond
Donald
to.
Trump. I yield back.
The gentleman yields back.
May I answer?
I think our next questioner, Madam Attorney General, is going to give you time to respond to.
Thank you, Chairman.
All kinds of things. So we will turn to the gentleman from Texas for 5 minutes.
Ms. Bondi, you go right ahead. I'm over here. The time is yours.
Thank you. First, he brought up the president saying they indicted me twice. They sure did. They tried to impeach him twice. And you, Mr. Nadler, were one of the leads on the impeachment. I was on the other side. I lived that with you. During impeachment, you said the president conspired, sought foreign interference in the 2016 election. Robert Mueller found no evidence, none, of foreign interference in 2016.
Yeah.
Have you apologized to President Trump? Have you apologized to President Trump, all of you who participated in those impeachment hearings against Donald Trump? You all should be apologizing. You sit here and you attack the president, and I am not going
She makes Trump look bad by doing this. She does.
To have it. I'm not going to put up with it. You know, all they want to do, the American people need to know this. They are talking about Epstein today. This has been around since the Obama administration. This administration released over 3 million pages of documents.
Great. How many did you not release? Oh, 3 million? That doesn't sound as good nowadays, huh? You're using 3 million as if it's this astronomical number, but coincidentally, it's also the number that you didn't release also. Jeez.
3 million, and Donald Trump signed that law to release all of those documents. He is the most transparent president in the nation's history.
That's cute.
And none of them ask Merrick Garland over the...
She really doesn't like Merrick Garland. I just wish this had something to do with it. Can you imagine if she was this passionate about getting to people that were actually the co-conspirators with the Epstein files? We probably would have somebody arrested by now. But fortunately for us, she's more upset about the Merrick Garland going out there and, some other unrelated bullshit.
The last 4 years,
Mean Girl aura? Yep.
One word about Jeffrey Epstein. How ironic is that? You know why?
Why?
Because Donald Trump, the Dow right now.
The Dow, you're going to talk about the stock market?
The Dow is over $50,000. I don't know why you're laughing. You're a great stock trader, as I hear, Raskin. The Dow is over 50,000 right now.
Because the Dow's number and the amount of success it has is primarily based off of like 5 companies that are buying and trading each other's stuff like the human centipede. If you remove the 5 most overperforming companies, the stock graph doesn't look anywhere near like that. Like it's such a misrepresentation. It's unbelievable how dishonest it is. Like I don't get. And also, by the way, whenever like 90-something% of the gains that were made after COVID were by the 1%. Like after COVID, keep this in mind. Over 90% of the capital gains that were made were completely enjoyed by the top 1%. This is not even relevant. It has nothing to do with this. She's talking about the stock market is up? What the fuck does the stock market have to do with the Epstein victims?
The S&P at almost 7,000 50,000.
Wow.
And the NASDAQ smashing records. Americans' 401ks and retirement savings are booming. That's what we should be talking about. Why
don't we talk about both? Like, that's great. It's really good that's happening, and that's amazing. We need to make sure that the companies are taxed properly and Americans can enjoy the fruits of apparently their labor. Yeah, sure, definitely. Now, what about the files? Okay, like, I mean, like, really, like, yeah, true, great. Like, it's amazing.
Be talking about making Americans safe. We should be talking about, what does a Dow have to do with anything? That's
the question. Yes.
Just asked.
Yes.
Are you kidding?
Mr. Jordan.
No, I'm not kidding.
Mr. Jordan.
Committee will be in order.
Mr. Jordan, am I going to get an extra 45 seconds added to my time?
The committee will be in order. The time belongs to the gentleman from Texas. Ms. Bondi, the Attorney General can respond.
This is pathetic.
Thank you. The Dow has shattered 50,000 for the first time. This is crazy. They said it couldn't be done in 4 years, yet President Trump has done it in 1 year. National median rents have fallen to a 4-year low thanks to Donald Trump. That's why
this is hard
they
to
want
watch.
to focus on Epstein and our most transparent president in the nation's history.
Well, I don't even understand this. If this is so, like, all the messaging is so convoluted. Like, did these people even realize what they're saying? So, wait a minute. So, the Epstein Files, there were a lot of Democrats in the Epstein Files. So, shouldn't you want to focus on the Epstein Files if it's Democrats in the Epstein Files? But then it's not always Democrats in the Epstein Files. So, then what's the... It's so crazy and dishonest. Like, it's like they don't even keep up with their own bullshit.
The murder rate, as I said, has plummeted to a 125-year low thanks to Donald Trump.
Yeah.
For an unprecedented,
No, and we had, and again, guys, like, I see that there are some people, there are some cultists that are unhappy. Is even listening to damn Democrats, Garland had the files for years, it's everything to do with this? Do you really think that it is, I'm going to ask you a question. Do you think that it's an appropriate answer when somebody is asking you about the Epstein Files to bring up the stock market? You're here at a congressional meeting. Do you think that that's beneficial? Is that related at all? You're going around and you're playing sides with this. You think she's on your side? Then why didn't she arrest all the Tesla people? Why didn't she arrest the Minnesota terrorists? Why isn't she arresting the people that are openly advocating for terrorism and fucking assassinations all over social media constantly? Why isn't she going after the companies? Why is Pam Bondi not going after, with the full force of the law, all of the companies that willingly and knowingly hired illegal aliens? I'm going to be honest. I don't have any anger towards the illegal aliens. I get it. You're a Guatemalan. You want to come here. It'll make your life better. You've got to get the fuck out of my country, but I can understand why you showed up. But you know who I really fucking hate? Is the employers, the business owners, the millionaires that take advantage, manipulate, and exploit the labor of these these South Americans and these Mexico's in the middle, right? These non-Americans, and they exploit them at the expense of American workers. Because guess what happens? Whenever you're cheating and you're competing against somebody who's not cheating, you beat them. So now they have to start cheating too. Now everybody's cheating. Now it's a problem. So how is that justifiable at all? Like, this is crazy. I must see if there's any response at all. What about the states giving illegals taxpayer dollars? Yeah, you've got to go after that too. Like you said, it's more often. It's so embarrassing. Vote for Trump. I can say this bitch is a snake. This is the problem that people have. They're completely like, if you think that this person is incompetent, a smarter person or a better prepared person or a more competent person would be able to answer these Epstein questions in a better way. Even if you think that she's on your side, her being on your side and doing such a bad job is worse than if she was against you, because she's making your side look like a bunch of retards. It's like if you want somebody to come up and represent your party and you hire Bozo the Clown to come up and represent the party, should you be on Bozo's side just because he's part of the party? Fuck no. It looks awful. And they're right. It's just again, people that just blindly, Garland had her job in her body. It doesn't matter. You hate her and be done with it. I do hate her. I do. Absolutely, I do. I think she is awful. She is terrible. She is a dumb bitch. She's acting like a high school girl, and Trump should fire her today. Absolutely, I do. The Democrats, what the fuck does this? It's not even about this. Garland at the files for years says anything to do with it. Yeah, Garland didn't appoint Kash Patel, who said he was going to unredact them. They never used this as a primary thing. Democrats didn't do anything for years. Now they go after her. Then they're both wrong. I think you're right. You should go after them too. This is the mindset that these people have, is that they're so captured by partisan politics that they can't think about what the goal is. You're not thinking about the goal. There's no, it's like you're defending bullshit.
9 straight
Oh my God.
months. There were 0 illegal border crossings at the southern border.
Great. That's nothing to do with this.
That's what we should be focused on. All the great work that
Why? It's already over. It's done. Good job. Next.
President has done and will continue to do to keep America safe and to make Americans safe.
Wow.
Thank you,
What
Attorney
a
General
non-answer.
Bondi. I agree with you totally. I think you've done a fine job. I think that Democrats, in fact, should be apologizing to the Epstein victims for doing nothing during the 4 years that they were running the government. We did not.
He's right. They should. They totally fucked this up. They should have been doing, if they were so angry about this, they should have been going after this for the 4 years that they had it. It's true. He's right. But it's still not an excuse to not answer the questions. Whenever they did something wrong, and then now you're doing something wrong that's basically the same thing, it doesn't matter.
Hear about this, and it took you and President Trump to finally provide transparency and give answers to the American people, and I want to thank you for...
That's not what happened. That's not what happened at all. President Trump lost basically he lost the public on this issue, and he was forced basically into signing it because the other two parts of the government were going to sign it. It's not even true.
That I want to thank you also for standing up for truth today and for fighting back against the theatrics and the time waste that you will endure over the next hour or two. I want to apologize on behalf of my colleagues on the left. They're not all that bad, but they've got to put on a show. And I'm sorry that you have to go through that. And I would like to yield the last, I'd say 40, and 40 is 80 seconds. The clock says 40, but I've got 80 seconds since I was so rudely interrupted, and I'll give all 80 seconds to Chairman Jordan.
And I would just yield to the Attorney General if she has anything to add.
Simp. Oh, my God.
It's expired. The gentlelady is recognized.
This is the last one.
Thank you. I seek unanimous consent to introduce into the record the research that Representative Kamlager-Dove and I referenced concerning the threat of right-wing domestic terrorism, which the Department of Justice scrubbed from its website in September.
Without objection, the gentlelady from Texas is recognized.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. And to be clear, I'm not going to ask any questions of this witness because this witness has revealed that she has no intentions of answering questions. But instead, I'm going to ask some very basic questions really quickly of my colleague, Becca Balint, if she will answer right or wrong, raping children.
Wrong.
Right or wrong, killing random citizens.
Definitely wrong.
Right or wrong, enriching yourself as the sitting president of the United States?
Definitely wrong.
Okay, thank you, because I probably never would have got that with our witness. Our witness who somehow is a lawyer but does not understand how it works with witnesses. I'm not really sure what law school she went to and what all kind of cases she tried, but typically when you come into a space and somebody's a witness, then they sit there and they answer questions instead of asking questions. And then we also have this objection that we use as lawyers called non-responsive when a witness fails to actually answer the question. But nevertheless, let me address the survivors, because that's exactly who they are. They are not victims, they are survivors. Let me say thank you for having more courage and moral clarity in your pinky fingers than the entire Department of Justice.
See, whenever you fuck this up, you give retards like this bitch ammunition that actually works. She's right. She is. This is the problem, is that whenever you fuck up, you give retards like this the excuse to make sense, kind of. That's the problem.
We are currently the laughing stock of the world, partially because of the failed leadership within the DOJ, as we see kings and queens falling everywhere around the world. But we don't know the basics of right and wrong.
Imagine fucking up so bad that this person is able to take you for a ride and make you look bad. That's crazy, isn't it? Wow.
In this country, because it's not about partisanship, and that's why I applaud Thomas Massie, because he's the only person on the Republican side that has a backbone and knows how to stand up to corruption. But nevertheless, let me keep going. My Democratic colleagues have been attacked this entire committee hearing. They have been lied on, and frankly, the American people weren't looking for that. They were looking for answers about the corruption that they see coming from this administration. In the written testimony of this witness, of this particular witness, she stated that when she took office, she had two main goals. The first was to end the weaponization of justice, and second, to return the department to its core mission. Not only have you lied about both, you've intentionally done the exact opposite. You're spending more taxpayer resources arresting journalists than you are prosecuting pedophiles and creeps. In fact, your boss, the President of the United States, stated that this administration, quote, took the freedom of speech away. And at your direction, DOJ has arrested Don Lemon and Georgia Fort. And I might add that y'all actually had a judge that rejected y'all for trying to arrest Don.
What is this? It's got nothing to do with it, bro. Don Lemon went in and fucked around, and he found out. That's what happens. It shouldn't have even happened.
Lemon before, just like the grand jury rejected y'all as it relates to Senator Kelly, just like a grand jury rejected y'all as it relates to Senator Slotkin,
of course.
Just like the case against Tish James was dismissed and the case against Mr. Comey was dismissed. I completely don't get how it is that you're sitting at the top of DOJ, because you don't seem to be good at your job. You're
I hate to agree.
Spending more taxpayer resources arresting these journalists. In fact,
should be arresting all of them. They should all be getting arrested. That's
we
my
know
outlook.
After Georgia Fort and Don Lemon were arrested, we know that there were homes of journalists that were raided. We know that threatened prosecution against students protesting your actions and forced tech
it should be worse.
Companies to remove apps used to track ISIS activities. But let's
should be worse. They should be tried for domestic terrorism, put in Guantanamo Bay.
Go back to you protecting pedophiles and creeps, because I want to talk about the president and his possible involvement with Jeffrey Epstein. Now, I don't know what the president might have done with Jeffrey Epstein, but unlike this administration, I believe that facts matter. So let's talk about the facts. Fact number one, Donald Trump is one of the most named people in the Epstein files. At least 5,000 files contains more than 38,000 references to Trump, his wife, or Mar-a-Lago. Fact number two, Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell made young girls available to Trump on multiple occasions. For example, according to this file, Ghislaine Maxwell presented a young girl to President Trump who spent more than 20 minutes apparently flirting with her. Here's another example. This shows notes from FBI investigators that describe—
Young woman is a word that's being used because there's a chance that it could actually just simply be an adult. There's no problem with Jeffrey Epstein or your friend introducing you to a hot young chick. There's nothing wrong with that. And trying to launder pedophilia and a child sex raping cult through that to try to attack Trump is completely, it's totally unfair. It's total bullshit.
described Jeffrey Epstein transporting a victim to Mar-a-Lago to meet with President Trump, where he bragged to Trump that, quote, this is a good one. Now, I'm not saying that the president is a pedophile, but there is a lot of evidence in these files that suggests that he's very close friends with a lot of men who are pedophiles. What's crazy about all of this is just that this is a big cover-up. And this administration is engaged in it. In fact, this administration is complicit. But there are numerous others, like how the DOJ is attempting to obstruct justice in the investigation of the rogue agents who have murdered American citizens, or how the DOJ seized voter data from Fulton County in an attempt to steal the 2026 midterm elections, or how federal agents have Tom Homan on tape accepting a bribe and your agency killed the investigation, or how your agency is ready to give the president a $230 million payday, which is unconstitutional. The Constitution is clear. The president shall not receive any payment except his salary while in office. The fact of the matter is that you will be remembered as one of the worst attorney generals in history. An attorney general who has prioritized obstruction over justice, corruption over the law, fealty to the president over loyalty to the Constitution. And Mr. Chairman, I will yield.
Gentlelady yields. Gentleman from Missouri is recognized. Excuse me, gentleman from Kansas, the Attorney General, former Attorney General, Mr. Schmidt is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and General Bondi, thanks for being here. Did you have anything you wanted to say before we talk?
I do. Thank you, Congressman. Thank you, my friend, for many years. I find it interesting that she didn't even want to try, Congresswoman Crockett, to ask any questions, because she certainly did not condemn her leader.
You don't answer the questions. You're lying. That's the problem. You can't engage with somebody that makes up bullshit. And she's making up bullshit too. It's not like she's a good actor and this girl isn't. They're both bad. They are. They're both bad. Like it's not even a question.
Hakeem Jeffries for taking money from Jeffrey Epstein after Epstein was convicted. And I will be brief to give you your time, Congressman. This is what she didn't want to talk about.
Well, why aren't you investigating him? If he took money from Jeffrey Epstein and you think that there's something that was wrong with that, then why aren't you investigating him?
Texas, from Cuba, convicted, homicide.
So there's a retard from Cuba that caused a problem in Texas? Okay.
Arson, weapon offense.
Convicted. You know, so what are we talking about? Convict some of these perpetrators that rape these women that are sitting behind you, that you refuse to even acknowledge they are here.
Time belongs to the gentleman.
It's crazy how people try to turn this into a sides thing. It really is. It's embarrassing.
Gentleman from Kansas.
Mr. Chairman, could I have a few seconds back to make up for the yelling? Thank you. General, did you have anything further to say?
Texas, convicted of homicide. Cecil Joseph from Dominican Republic.
Get rid of him.
Texas, convicted for kidnapping, rape.
Get rid of him.
Khalid Khan from Afghanistan. That's why they want to talk about Epstein and not what's happening in their own states.
I mean, she's right about this, but they're both bad. They're both awful, yeah. I do think that the Democrats are just weaponizing the Epstein files to attack Trump. I do. But I don't think the answer to that is to just say that they don't matter. The answer is to go after these people, solve the problem, so you can go back to going after the people that are in the United States. Like, that's the answer. That's how you deal with it.
General, and thank you for being here. And
just because somebody has a bad reason doesn't mean that something isn't a good idea.
This has been quite a spectacle to observe today. Yeah. I think it's sad. I ran for Congress because I thought we had serious problems in this country we wanted to try to fix together, and this performance today, not yours, General, but some of my colleagues, has not shored up my confidence that we are up to the task.
Yeah.
You and I served together for 8 years when you were Attorney General of Florida, and I in Kansas. You served professionally. I'm glad to be able to serve with you in these new roles, and I'm
Jesus Christ, bro. Like, it is just so fucking embarrassing, man. It really is. It is so fucking embarrassing. I don't even know what to say. And it's just like, it's so problematic. It's so bad. And I don't even understand how, like, it just makes her look so bad. I'll look at this probably later on. But right now, I want to look at the other people that are talking about this, because I literally had no idea that it was this bad. I had no idea it was this bad. Like, after watching this now and looking at it, what a fucking disgrace. This was so awful. Can you guys believe this? Holy shit, what a flop. Do you not hold Trump accountable for keeping her as AG? He is. He's fucking up. At this very moment, he's fucking up. Who do you want Bondi to replace with? I want her to get replaced with the, take one of these, crazy Southern congressmen that said that the solution for the Epstein files are, public hangings. I want to put that guy in charge of the government, or of the justice system. I want to get whoever is the most Old Testament fire and brimstone guy. That's the guy I want to put in charge. That's it. That's what I want. And again, if they don't want to give me that, I'm mad. And that's the moderate option. That is. Could get a lot worse. Grady Jeff from Florida. Yeah, exactly. Tim Burgess on a lawyer. Then just get somebody that thinks the same thing. That's fine. No, I'm fucking annoyed. I am very fucking annoyed by this because it just makes everybody look like a fucking retard. That's the reason why. Did she say anything about this? No, she didn't. That's good. And it is just absolutely fucking embarrassing, man. She loses her mind on indicting Jeff Epstein's clients. Jesus, man. This is way worse than I thought it was. Pam Bondi was trying a classic excuse for not doing anything about Epstein that's anti-Semitic. I didn't hear that about anti-Semitic. Maybe I didn't, but I don't know. Pam Bondi played a central role in Trayvon Martin's trial hoax. No one should be surprised she's a failure as an attorney general. Man, it sure seems like that's true. And Pam Bondi admits Trump's all over the Epstein files. Yeah, obviously he is. That's the way it is. Oh my fucking God. And it's just so embarrassing. I don't even know what to say. It's a big puppet show. Yeah, I guess it is. They're more loyal to Trump than the country? Trump is the problem? No, these people, okay, so there are two problems. I do think that Trump has caused a huge amount of problems by the way he's handled this. It's undeniable. There's no way that you can't say that. But at the same time, I do think that they are the ones causing the problems also. But you're right. Trump is the president. He appointed them. It's his responsibility. When they fail, he fails. That's true. You're right. I don't think anybody should play that down. It's absolutely true. He's responsible for this. These people are too deep in it? I guess so. They got to replace him. And wrapped in for accountability. It's possible she's doing exactly what she's told, which is why she's lasted this long. Well, I don't know. I mean, it definitely makes her look bad. Collapse! Yeah, that's about right, isn't it? Oh, my God. And, yeah, if Republicans lose the midterms, this is what it's going to look like in 3 more years. Yeah, it's just pathetic, man. And the whole system's rigged? I guess so. And the only reason they fail is to protect them? I guess. I don't know. So, Motherfucker says Trump, he's a pedo, equals he accepted. I don't care about that. That's just people are going to say whatever they want. It's not even, has nothing to do with anything. The real problem is is he handling the files properly or not? I don't care what some random retard's accusation is. It's irrelevant. The problem is that you have all these files. You have everybody that knows that something went wrong. Why are the names hidden whenever they shouldn't be hidden? Who did it? Why did they do it? Figure it out. Bring that person in front of Congress and you evaluate this. This is what you need to do. You need to go through and surgically dissect this and figure out exactly who is doing things that are wrong. And then after you figure out who are doing things that are wrong, you try them criminally and you put them in jail. That's what you do. It's not a fine, not a dismissal from their position. Oh, no. They go to jail. That's what you do. And if that's not what's happening, I'm not interested. That's it.